this is the Vsb TV 11 News for Wednesday, April 16th. I'm Peter Cattell. Our top story: Caribbean tourism consultants McClellan and Associates have linked up with a local partner to redevelop the Grand Atlantic housing estate on the South Shore into a condo hotel called Bermudiana that will offer investment, 90-day owner access, and short-term tourist rentals. According to Works Minister Patricia Gordon-Pamplin, the partners have 3 months in which to find the financing and bring a new all-suite tourism product to Bermuda, hopefully by the end of the year.
Today, the government of Bermuda is pleased to announce that the Caribbean-based hospitality, tourism, and leisure consultancy firm McClellan and Associates has entered into a memorandum of understanding with the Bermuda government to upgrade and reposition the Grand Atlantic residential development on South Shore, Bermuda. The proposed redevelopment of the Grand Atlantic site will create a condo hotel which will make use of existing construction and bring a new all-suite tourism product to Bermuda that is very popular in other jurisdictions. In the hospitality industry, a condo hotel is defined as a development which is legally a condominium but which is operated as a resort, offering short-term rentals of hotel suites with front desk and resort leisure facilities. It is anticipated that the units at Grand Atlantic will be sold as a combination of investment and vacation homes, with condo owners being restricted to 90 days annual occupancy per annum. When owners are not in residence, they can leverage the marketing and management provided by the hotel operator to rent and manage the condo unit as it would any other hotel room. This will be a welcome addition to Bermuda's current hotel inventory and a completely unique product for our market. The MOU has a 120-day exclusivity clause, which will enable McClellan and Associates and their Bermudian partners, the Bermudiana Beach Resort, to finance the acquisition and associated development costs of the project. It is expected that the project will provide jobs and tourism opportunities for the wider sector of Bermuda. It is anticipated that the site could be prepared for sale of condo units within the year. Currently, McClellan and Associates are working to finalize the financing arrangements for significant design changes, incorporating resort amenities, and identifying a hotel operator that is willing to partner with investors in the opportunity presented by this development for a new tourism product in Bermuda.
For a man who helped restore New York's image after the tragic 9/11 terrorist attack and dealt with norovirus outbreaks and snipers, Tourism Authority CEO Bill Hanbury is clearly not going to let the sewage pollution issue deter him from the task at hand. At yesterday's conference on the subject, he in fact became the first official to criticize the U.S. consul for putting out his misleading alert.
Well, as a point of personal reflection, I've been under pressure before. I helped lead the economic recovery out of 9/11 in Washington, D.C., was involved in SARS and norovirus and snipers, so this is not my first time in a situation of this nature. So we've got a great group of colleagues here. I think the government is working very closely together in order to achieve some objectives here around communications. We were very unhappy with what happened with this announcement, the way it was done with the Consul General. It could have been done in a different way, but in reality, it is what it is. We have to deal with the circumstances as they are right now, and we're making a very big effort to keep the public informed, our global tourism audience informed around this issue. And there are a lot of folks that are interested in this, and we've done, I think, a very good job up to this point, our public relations firms, literally around the globe, that are working on this to assure that the right information gets out there. At the end of the day, we have to remediate against this, and the government's well aware of that. We're taking I think some very significant short-term steps in order to make sure that we can assure our visitors that our beaches are safe. We also are taking long-term steps. The government is going to fix this problem in the long term. So I'm satisfied with the response the government has had up to this point, and we'll continue to work closely with them to make sure that those messages get out and that we're doing the kind of job we need to do to maintain a very important part of our economy.
5 years ago, government launched a rebate program for people who purchased and installed solar panels and set a limit of $500,000 for the total payout. Today, Dr. Grant Gibbons, Minister of Economic Development, revealed that the program had been a success, with 150 homes now interconnected to the grid and selling their surplus energy back to Belco. But it had cost government $650,000 to date in solar rebates, and by the end of the fiscal year, the figure could have reached $800,000. It had now been decided to conclude the rebate program while honoring all applications which had been received and assigned a rebate number. No further applications will be accepted. Meanwhile, government will concentrate on identifying renewable energy technologies and overhauling the energy legislation currently in existence. The Bermuda Police Service will be celebrating its 135th birthday this year, and rather than concentrating on Police Week in October, Police Commissioner Michael De Silva reports that the Men in Blue will be going all out to mark the occasion throughout the year.
The other thing we're looking to do differently this year is not just celebrate Police Week during the week in October, but actually to have some lead-up events and generate some community interest and generate some enthusiasm amongst our staff, and also to involve as many of our community partners as possible, and to also resurrect our relationships with former police officers, former cadets, and former support staff. In terms of the run-up events, again, there's a list in your pack, but I just want to highlight the significant ones. The first one starts with a police team entry in the Catlin End-to-End Walk in early May, followed up by police teams in the Bermuda Day Half Marathon and a float submission in the Heritage Day Parade. We have an inter-service sports competition which will feature all the uniformed services in a sports day in June. And shortly before Police Week commences, the Wednesday before Police Week, we will have a police vehicles past, present, and future convoy. And the idea here is that we'll have a parade of vehicles, all of the uniformed vehicles that we have in our fleet, and we'll do a east to west or west to east. I don't think, Dwayne, we've decided which direction of travel yet, but we'll travel from one end of the island to the next and make a special call-in and drive-by of all of the island's schools. And the reason for that is to remind the students that coming Saturday, Police Week 2014 will kick off with the Police Gymkhana. This one will be held at the North Field at the National Stadium instead of Police Field, because we expect the numbers will be larger than in the past.
Nearly 2 months ago to the day, the rainstorms that Bermuda experienced had a devastating effect on Mr. John Roach's home in Pembroke Parish, and part of his home was destroyed by a crumbling hillside. He told Vsb News that Works in Engineering has made significant progress on the reconstruction of his home.
Well, the progress has been within the house itself, and new cantilever put up on the exterior side of things. They have been working fairly steady on refurbishing the inside, like floors and ceilings and things like that. So progress has been made there, with the workmen coming every day and working on the inside of the house, right? Some progress on the outside, on the exterior of the house. So it's ongoing. They're still here now, you know, sort of thing. As we speak, they're here now.
And so, specifically looking around, I see, cables, but I know that part of the house that wasn't here before is back. Can you just elaborate on what was done over there?
The cantilever to the house had been totally destroyed. They had men come in right away, and they reinstalled the cantilever, which you see there behind you as such. It's brand new.
What are your sentiments as of right now? Do you wish more was being done? Are you satisfied?
One can never be satisfied, But I am thankful and gracious that they have been coming every day to even do the little things. So work is ongoing. The biggest thing I think anyone or everyone would like to see is something done with the hillside and a retaining wall or whatever the plans are to get started. And once they started, we know they will continue to go forward. But until we see that happening, it's still in limbo. And that when rains come, even just coming straight down from the, straight down, there will be water gushing through the hills.
You can count on us.
Perfect for your fish cakes, Ocean's finest codfish. Only $6.99 for a 400-gram bag. Save $1.50 per pound on fresh green beans. Only $2.49 per pound. Save $1.15 on Hunt's ketchup 35-ounce squeeze bottle. Only $2.29. Snack on Wise potato chips. Only $1.49 for a 3.75-ounce bag. Regular, diet, cherry, or zero Coca-Cola soda. Only $4.99 for a 6-pack. All stores open until 10 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
For diagnostic service at its best, stop by Bermuda's premier automobile dealership and service center. Auto Solutions. Whirl with us.
Are you looking for a professional and reliable agency that does residential cleaning, office cleaning, or to care for your elderly or disabled loved one? If yes, our agency can help. At Bermuda At Home Services, our professional and courteous staff can assist you with all of these services. Email bahs@northrock.bm or call us at 541-2247 between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. Mondays through Saturdays for a free estimate. Bermuda At Home Services, your home care under one roof.
The Bermuda Documentary Film Festival takes place this weekend at the Tradewinds Theatre at BUEI, and once again it will feature 11 great documentary films in 4 days and nights. Starting tomorrow, Vsb News' Brian Darby asked founder and director Duncan Hall to name some of the treats in store.
4 days, 11 great documentary films, kicking off with a film called Plot for Peace, which is a documentary that plays like a spy thriller. It tells the secret history of South Africa and the end of apartheid leading to the release of Nelson Mandela, and it stars a shadowy French businessman who a lot of people think was actually in the French Secret Service, who worked his contacts in the region to broker peace, and it was only when peace was assured that Mandela could be released. So it's kind of the secret history of South Africa.
Does it mention the fact they met here in Bermuda?
It doesn't mention that, because he does all his work in Africa. He's a foreign commodities trader, so he was flying back and forth across Africa brokering peace, but he didn't mention that.
That's a great part of our history, is that we actually were the site of the secret meetings between the ANC, I think, and the government.
Right. I understand that maybe a constitution might have been worked on here as well.
At Lantana in Bermuda. What else?
We have Supermensch, The Legend of Shep Gordon, which is about a beloved insider show business figure, as told by his pals, including Michael Douglas, so it's sort of a rollicking tale of the show and music businesses. God Loves Uganda is about the role that American evangelicals play in the internal politics of Uganda. Oscar shortlisted, directed by Roger Ross Williams, very powerful and a very well-crafted film. And then Friday night we've got some special guests coming with the documentary film Our Man in Tehran, which is about Ken Taylor, the former Canadian ambassador to Iran, and how he worked with folks back in Ottawa to issue fake passports to spirit 6 American diplomats out of the country, kept them in hiding for nearly 3 months, and then helped them escape Iran. Of course, Ken Taylor's coming down to the festival, and Drew Taylor, who no relation, who is the film's co-producer and co-director, and the film's executive producer as well, coming down to the film, doing a Q&A on Friday night.
A unique sensory garden has been created by the staff of the Autism Support Department at the West Pembroke Primary School, and it was opened by Junior Minister of Education Leah Scott. Students and teachers worked for several months along with volunteers to complete the project, located in the courtyard area at the school. And Principal Opal Wilson noted that when we think of the word sensory, we think of touching and feeling. This garden has plenty of elements that create such a calming effect. Now, here's a look at the daily markets, presented by Bias.
U.S. stocks rose after data showed China's economic growth exceeded expectations, and U.S. industrial production rose for a second straight month. In North America, indices advanced on the day. U.S. stocks rose as Yahoo incorporated its earnings top estimates, and industrial production gained more than forecast. The Toronto Stock Exchange rose 1% to 14,447. Bank of Butterfield advanced 0.5% to $2 with 13,200 shares trading hands. Argus Group was unchanged on the day with 483, with 1,000 shares traded today. European indices advanced on the day. The FTSE 100 rose 0.65% to 6,584, led by gains from Tesco and International Consolidated Airlines Group. The Milan IB increased 3.44% to 21,535. Pacific Rim indices rose today. Chinese stocks advanced as internet shares paced gains after the country's largest e-commerce company posted a surge in fourth quarter earnings. The Nikkei 225 index rose 3.01% to 14,418. Latin American indices advanced on the day. Brazil's Bovespa increased 1.65% to 51,288 as raw materials producers rallied on speculation China will take further steps to maintain growth. U.S. Treasuries fell as Fed Chair Janet Yellen said central bank has a continuing commitment to support the recovery even as policymakers see full employment by 2016. The Canadian dollar fell against its major peers as the central bank held its benchmark interest rate at 1%. The pound sterling advanced versus major currencies after the UK unemployment rate fell more than expected. And that was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. There's more news after this.
Save $1 on your choice of Bermuda-grown romaine or green leaf lettuce. Only $2.49 per package. Save $1.50 per pound on fresh Purdue chicken thighs. Value packs, only $1.99 per pound. Great savings of 90 cents on an imported dozen white eggs, only $2.59. For your baking needs, bluebonnet margarine sticks, 1-pound box, $1.59. Big savings of $1.69 on Atlantic sugar, 4-pound bag, only $2.10. All stores open until 10 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Health care matters, and building a new facility would just add to the care of the citizens.
Because we should all be provided with the best services Bermuda hospitals can offer.
Up-to-date innovative technology and care is the very essence of quality life.
For all the reasons why healthcare matters, we hope you'll consider donating to the Bermuda Hospitals Charitable Trust. Visit our website, whyitmatters.pm, or call 295-2428.
Good evening and welcome to the Parliamentary Registry's News Brief. I'm Glenn Jones. Joining me now from location is our Field Registration Officer, Lisa Pickering, who will explain to you just how simple it is to update your registration details right from the comforts of your own home. Lisa?
Thanks, Glenn. Well, as Glenn mentioned, I'm one of many field registration officers that will be visiting your home during the year to ensure your registration details are up to date and correct. I'm currently at the Pereira household to confirm just how quick and easy this whole process is. Ma'am, are you Mrs. Poppy Pereira?
Yes, I am.
I also have listed here Lauren, Melissa, and Edward. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I can just get your signature here, please?
There you go.
Yeah? Great. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
It's that simple. Look out for our registration officers in your constituency. They'll be ensuring your registration details are up to date and correct. Thanks in advance for your cooperation. For Parliamentary News, I'm Lisa Pickering.
Aspiring lawyer and teenager Erin Hill was asked to speak to the S1 students at the Barclay Institute yesterday. As a young man who had a unique journey getting to where he is currently, he was clearly an inspiration to the 14 and 15-year-old males who came to listen to his talk. Vsb's Julia Smat was there and spoke to the 18-year-old prior to his presentation.
I was asked by one of the counselors here for the S1 male students to come in and speak with them. It's the last quarter, and exams are going to be coming up soon, and they just wanted to hear a little talk. And I have so much time for the youth of Bermuda, especially our young males. We need to speak life into them, and so I'm happy and I'm honored to be here and speak with them today.
What are some things that you plan on highlighting?
Well, my life experiences. As some of you may know, I graduated high school at the age of 16, and so I'm going to talk to them about that and just perseverance. And our young people want a voice, and so I'm going to speak to them about that today, how they can be heard.
Do you think that often in Bermuda the youth is not given enough credit? For example, a lot of negative things are highlighted, but there is in fact quite a few youth that are doing really positive things. What's your feeling on that?
Well, I'm absolutely pleased that you're here today because it's going to be highlighting some of the youth achievements. Some of these young people are doing excellent. They're excelling in their studies, and I think things like this need to be highlighted more in our community. But I appreciate when people like yourself come out and support the youth.
And one brief thing, would you mind giving a brief synopsis of somewhat of your journey? I know that you have sort of a unique situation of how you got into your aspiring law career.
Well, yes, I'm 18 years old at the moment. I started when I was 17 as a legal understudy with Elizabeth Christopher. She had seen me in the courtroom and she saw my dedication and my drive to want to become a lawyer, and she took me on. I'm absolutely grateful for that. Now I work with Charles Richardson, a local barrister and attorney in Bermuda, and I'm a legal understudy. I help with casework generally, and I'm on my way.
What's one last message that, if you could say one thing to the youth of Bermuda, what would it be?
I would say never give up on your dreams and keep persevering. There's one thing to have a dream, but there's another thing to actually achieve it. And I think that we must understand as youth is that success takes sacrifice, and so prepare to sacrifice in order to get what you dream and what you want.
April is Environmental Awareness Month, and Vsb Tv 11 is airing relevant documentaries exploring environmental issues concerning all of us on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. for the month of April. Sponsored by Auto Solutions, Roll With Us, Belco, The Power to Save, and Lindo's, Why Go Anyplace Else? Environmental Awareness Month on Vsb Tv 11.
As our 13-strong Carifta track team flies off to Martinique, we can share with sports fans the views of assistant coach Devon Bean as to which of his young athletes have the best chance of medaling.
We have our headhunters, so to speak, Ms. Kyra Schraders, who's won multiple Carifta medals. We have Miss Famous, Akari Famous, who's just a youngster. This will be her second Carifta. High jump. She jumped 1.70 meters, which will possibly go down there and blow everybody out of the water if she shows up on that day. Obviously, you have Mr. Justin Donowa in the triple jump, who's a big meat performer. He likes the highlights. He likes all the clapping and so forth. We have Janai Parentchief, who's just blossomed this year. He's been a talent for a long time, but this year is finally coming to his own in the high jump, coached by Rohan Simons. And last week he jumped 2.10 meters, which could possibly be silver, bronze medal, but he'll definitely be in the finals. And then, of course, Dej Miners in his last Carifta. It's been running well overseas in Boston and indoors and outdoors. I'm sure he would like to go out with some hardware around his neck, so I'm looking for some big things. Obviously, we would like everybody to medal, but you have to show up on that day.
Yeah. Now, it's always been a controversy about the meet starting Good Friday or the day after, or even some years back it actually was taking place on Good Friday. Your thoughts on that?
To each his own. I understand that people want to honor the Good Friday, mainly in the Caribbean islands. They like to honor that, whereas one year when we hosted it back in 2004, I believe, we end up having it on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but traditionally it's always been on the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is nothing new to us.
Right.
The sprinters, I left out the sprinters, and as you know, globally on a world level, the sprints are very hard, because in our region we kind of dominate in that region, but we have two sprinters going, Ms. Tahira Butterfield and Mr. Keonjay Sumner. Tahira being the 100 and 200, Keonjay being the 200 and 400, and if they go down there, like I said, and compete how they've been competing up the last couple weeks, definitely make the final. Outside chance realistically of bringing home some hardware.
People and Places with Charles Webb, Mondays in the Vsb TV 11 Evening News at 7:30, 8:30 and midnight. Sponsored by Big Saving Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Well, the warm, windy weather continues on till today. I'm Jay Barker, and this is your weather. Let's take a look at our weather shot for today. This was taken by David Patterson, 12:05 over on the South Shore, and you can see it was a very nice day. A little bit windy, as you can see, with all the white caps and waves right there, but all in all, warm and very pleasant. Thanks to David Patterson for sending this great shot in. Our highs and lows, where we saw 74 was our high temperature. That's getting pretty warm at 2 p.m. Our low, 69 degrees at 4 a.m. this morning. Currently, we're looking at 71 degrees. Humidity is 80%. Winds out of the southeast at 15 knots, and the barometric pressure is unsteady at 30.22 inches. So far for April, well, it's been dry as a British wit pretty much for April. Monthly total, 1.2 inches. Total for the year is up to 20.29 inches, but we're still, again, way up on that 16.77 inches that we'd have normally seen. Take a look at the satellite map. Now, a strong Atlantic surface high will hold mostly fair weather in place through the end of the week. Now, breezy southeasterly winds will be stronger at times over elevated and exposed areas through this evening, but they will be decreasing later on. In the gateway cities, it'll be 64 and partly cloudy in Atlanta, 43 and mostly sunny in Boston, Charlotte, mostly sunny and 63, 68 and partly cloudy in London, Miami, possibility of rain and 82, New York, mostly sunny and 50 degrees, 80 degrees and mostly cloudy in Orlando, Philadelphia, mostly sunny and 55, 43 and partly cloudy in Toronto, and partly cloudy in Washington, and 59 degrees. For tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, low of around 68, winds out of the southeast at 16 to 22 knots, and then they will fall off a little, down to 14 to 18 knots. For tomorrow, looking at a high temperature of lovely 73 degrees, winds out of the southeast at 14 to 18 knots. We're looking at just a partly sunny day. Pretty good way to lead into Good Friday. Tonight, small craft warning. Seas inside the reef 1 to 3 feet. Seas outside the reef 5 to 8 feet. Sea temperature 71 degrees. For mariners tomorrow, there are no small craft warnings in effect. Seas inside the reef 1 to 2 feet. Seas outside 4 to 7 feet. High tide 10:29 a.m. and your low tide 4:39 p.m. Thursday, partly sunny, high of 73. Friday, a mix of sun and clouds, high of 75. Saturday, partly cloudy, high again of 75. Sunday, mostly cloudy with a couple of developing showers, high of 75. And on Monday, mostly cloudy with a few showers, high of 72. So it looks like a pretty good weather for the Easter weekend. I'd like to thank the Bermuda Weather Service for all their help. That's it for me for this weekend. Enjoy your Easter weekend. I'll be out there flying a kite on Friday. Hope to see you real soon.
Thanks for watching the TV 11 News. Good night.
Peter Cattell's attire courtesy of A.S. Cooper & Sons Limited.
Vsb TV 11, Bermuda.